This week on our Homemade Shop Shop, we have our Cuore. Alright, so it's a new day on the Cuore and painted the inside of the new tailgate. It's getting some fish eyes, which is horrible, and it doesn't matter how many coats and how many times we let it dry, it's not fixing it. Gonna probably ignore that. Painted the inside of this door, and Luke's currently making a false floor. We've fogged all this, put the bonnet on, cleaned all the quarters and stuff, and decided to work on the inside. So I'm working on the airbag system and wiring it up. It was wired up, but it's not great, and I'm going to move stuff around a bit. So Luke's cutting up some pieces of wood. We're going to have a false floor in the back here, and just the 2 seats, no back seat. So let's get stuck into it. Alright, so I've got pretty much everything I think of wired up so far. Until I mount it all, everything's too long, so I'll cut it all once it's all mounted. And Luke's been working on this wooden frame for a false floor, and he's just cutting up some cardboard templates, so we've got something to trace later. So I'll come around the front, so you can see it sits behind the front seats. We're going to have a piece of ply going down, so it's like a bit of a front headboard type thing. And we've cut the plastics around the tubs as well, which no one ever did in the first place, so it's going to look a whole lot better than it ever has. So we just cut the floor out. Hopefully the template was good, and we'll see how it fits. So this is for the tub and all the plastics, and hopefully it fits pretty well. So I got the floor in. There's a few spots that need a little bit of love, but if we put a carpet over it, it'll look fine. So looks pretty good to me. So now we can start screwing this to the frame and try and get it all attached. So we just finished the false floor for now. We've cut and made a little flap for the spare wheel, and the tanks and stuff will go up the front there. So it's just screwed quickly to the frame that we've made. Gonna put a whole bunch more screws in it, and we'll wrap it in carpet later once everything's finalised. So, getting there. Hey guys, Jeff from our Homemade Shop Shop here. Sorry to interrupt this week's video, but it's just to let you know that I've started a Patreon account. So if you like what you see and you want to see more of it, the hot rods, the Corollas, the Toyotas, the trucks, whatever I'm making, whatever I'm building, it'd be heaps better with your support. So you can jump over to patreon.com/elhomemade-shop-shop. That'd do me a great favour, and maybe one day I can quit my actual job and do this full time. Thanks guys, enjoy the video. Alright, so I've been allowed to put stuff on this concrete for 4 days now. I think I need to clean up a little bit, but let's make that happen. Easy. So we got parts that need to go back in the car. We've got the wood back, the bumper, hatchback, or tailgate, what it's called, the front supports, one of the doors. This pile is stuff that I probably won't use, but I'm not committed enough to throw out yet. We've got the Cuore, which is leaking still. This was fully up a minute ago, so that's full down. That's full up, and it's really loud, but it's pretty fun. So that's where we're at with that. And then I've got tools over here, a couple of chairs, and all the offcuts of the wood and screws and electrical stuff. So coming through here, a few more bits to clean up in here, and I need to continue stripping this car. And then all of this stuff needs to be sorted out. So I'll get to that in a minute. Yesterday we made this false floor. So it's got the tank, the compressors and the valves all mounted together, and it's got a little hatch for the spare wheel. So we fixed a couple of leaks yesterday, but obviously I've still got another one because over about 20 minutes it sags down. So just need to keep working with this. We're going to cover it in carpet and stuff later, but for now this will do. And then the wiring, all goes straight underneath it and runs out the front here, and is currently just going to a battery. So once I get the interior back in, the dash and etc., all the wiring and the carpet and stuff, I can start to run this wiring permanently, and then we'll have to pull all this out again and put carpet on it. As for the paint job, I've just dusted a coat on the front 3 panels just quickly, and the door jambs are done and the hatch jamb is done. All these sides are cleaned. Obviously we'll clean them again before I paint them. Sort of leaving this until I get the hatch on and the doors on, and then we can do the whole lot all at once. So it's coming together. I've just been sort of stuffing around, and we ended up doing that floor yesterday instead of what we were planning on doing. So it's coming along. So it's currently Tuesday, so I haven't done a whole lot on it today, just cleaned up and did some emails and stuff. Ordered all the stuff for the front so we can get the front on the ground. But Friday, stripped the cars, and then Saturday, Sunday we painted the door jambs, and then Monday we did the airbag stuff. So Tuesday it's going to be sort of clean up, and I'll probably start stripping this blue thing. And then hopefully by the end of the week should be all one colour and most of the interior back together. So I just want to say and make it clear that this was already bagged when I got it. So a friend of mine, Marty, he built this in 2014. He did the tubs, he did the airbags and everything in the back. He hasn't done anything with the front, so I'll be doing all that myself. So the back he's done tubs, so he's got the rear axle, he's cut out all the spring perches, made spots for the bags to sit in, and made it sit super low. The wheels do touch the tubs just a little bit, so I don't think it'll roll fully aired out. I'm yet to see, obviously, because I can't drive it, but it'll be pretty damn close. So once I do the front, we should get the seal pretty much on the floor, hopefully. So I've ordered some struts for the front. I'm going to have to make my own custom struts and then tub whatever needs to be tubbed, I guess. Haven't really done this before. Done a little bit on the front of the crown, but nothing quite like this, so we'll see how we go. But I just want to make it clear that I didn't do the back, Marty did. It's a great job. He's done a really good job there. Just don't want to take credit for it. However, we cut the plastics and made them fit over the tubs because it never had any rear door cards. So yesterday we cut that out, made those fit in there, and then made the floor fit around everything. And we've also redone all the airbag stuff. So this was all on a different piece of wood, and it was all back here. And I wasn't super happy with it. And between 2014 and now, someone's pulled it apart and put it back together and pulled it apart, and the wiring is kind of horrible. And yeah, so I've redone it. It's all nice and neat and a whole lot safer. All right, onto this pile of garbage. So this thing got rear-ended ages ago, and the frame's actually bent. You can't really see it from the top, but all of this is all squished in a fair bit further than it should be. So the rear bumper was a bit damaged, the tailgate's a bit damaged, so I've got new ones of those from the wreckers, which I think I talked about earlier. And then everything else from this car is feeding the white one. So the white one was pretty much fully stripped when I got it. So obviously this one was an auto, so the engine and gearbox is coming out of M's car, so the original stuff from M's car, not the K3 swap we've been doing. The dash, the steering column, everything from this car is going into the white one, so I need to pull all that out. Now, I've got a few bits of material here that I've already pulled out. Obviously got the carpet out, I've cleaned that. It was disgusting. I need to do the same thing with the seats, which I might do today. And then once I get a bit further along, and pull the engine out, and I still need the master cylinder, the brakes and all that sort of stuff. So there's heaps of stuff this car can donate to the white one. Then this will be going in scrap. So once this project's done, let me know. If I've got any spares, I'll show you, and I'll sell you all the spares if you need them. But for now, I'm keeping everything I've got just until I work out what I'm doing with which bits. So I'm not sure if any of you are interested in the wiring behind this, but I'll give you a quick rundown. So there's 2 power wires that go to 2 relays, which are just here. Those 2 relays then go to the compressors. There's obviously an earth on there, and then the trigger comes from pressure sensor up here. So power comes from ignition, which I haven't done yet. Obviously that's just this wire that floats around. The ignition wire goes to the pressure sensor. Pressure sensor is on because there's no pressure in there. So it gives 12 volt out, which turns the relays on, which turns the compressors on. And then once this gets to the desired pressure, it'll close, which will then open the system, stop feeding 12 volts to the relays, they'll turn off, the compressors will turn off, and then your tank is fully charged. So then you've got 2 valves at the top and 2 valves at the bottom. So 2 valves let air into the airbags, 2 valves let air out of the airbags. So each of those has their own power wire, and each of those has their own earth. and then they all run to the controller. So we've got 4 wires going to the controller for the power, and the 4 earth goes to go to earth. Then there's 1 power wire for the remote, which then feeds to this section, and then as you press the button, it puts power to the desired valves. So if you've wired it up correctly, these should be the back, these should be the front. That's all of them. So when you've done the front, you can go front up, front down, left front up, left front down, vice versa. All up, all down, rear front, rear down, rear up, and left right again. So there's lots of options for this little switch panel, and it's relatively inexpensive, I think, this design. So once we get the fronts in, it'll be a whole lot better. I can just hit one button, the whole car goes up. Should be pretty cool. So I'll do that now. It's quite violent and I'm sitting in the car, so excuse the shaky footage. It really hurts your ears. So there's 2 main wires going to the relays for the compressors. There's 1 going to the controller. Then there's a whole bunch of earths over here. So this is the pressure signal switch wire. So if I add 12 volt to this, the relays turn on, which turns the compressors on. Easy as that. So to airbag the front, I've ordered 2 struts, which are like a universal build-it-yourself kit. So they're a strut with a shock in it, obviously, and the airbag attached, and then you have to just make the bottom bolt holes. So I have to either cut up or copy these 2 bolts here. I might be able to get that whole thing off the strut. Not really sure. So I've ordered 2 of those, 1 for each side, obviously. I've ordered 10 meters of 1/2-inch hose, which is way too much, but could be leaking, and the car's quite long, depends where you route it, so we'll see. So I've ordered the hose, the struts, I've ordered 4 more valves to go there and there. I've ordered a pressure gauge for the tank, because we don't actually know how much pressure is in this tank at the moment. We just know if it's got some or it hasn't. I've also ordered a new pressure switch, because we don't know if this one works. I'm not particularly game enough to just run it until it turns off or explodes. I'd rather just get a new pressure switch. It's like 30 bucks. And I think that's about all I've ordered for the kit. So that whole lot was about $1,100, which is reasonably expensive. This whole setup as it is, both cars, all the airbags, everything I've bought for this project so far owes me about $1,500. So I'm hoping I can get out of this whole thing for about $3 grand, and then I'll be trying to sell it down the road. But it'll be fully airbagged all round. Lots of custom stuff, which obviously I can't charge for. I won't ever get my money back, but I should get my actual invested money back.